to make it small. But that's got a closely coupled carrier phase RTK GPS that's closely coupled with an inertial navigation system. So it's closely coupled with a fiber optic gyro. We used a full 6-axis INS using KVH fiber optic gyros. That also has all the other electronics in there to control the signaling lights and to control the interfaces to the crew and the interface to the crew's onboard system and all that. The lower right photo, the 34th cup used nickel metal hydride batteries, and that's what's in that picture. The 35th cup used lithium batteries. The lower left photo shows the two antennas at the top of the wing. The front antenna, the one on the right, is the HD TV. There was 5 pan, tilt, zoom, focusable HD cameras on the boat. We could switch any 2, and then we could backhaul 2 HD signals in parallel back to shore. That was the front antenna, and that was done with OFDM, and it was just a one-way transmission. The after antenna is the telemetry. So that was used for the tracking, it was used for the umpiring, and it was used for the pan, tilt, zoom, focus control of the cameras. There's one of the 2 helicopters. The ball underneath the nose of the helicopter is a Cineflex camera with the sensors in it to measure the pan, tilt, roll, zoom, focus. Then the INS was made by X Blue, the French company, and that's that black box that's off the tip of the helicopter. We had to mount it on the camera mount itself. We originally were planning to put it inside the heli because it's an expensive piece of kit, but the heli bent too much. And so in order to preserve the 100th of a degree, we had to actually mount it on the camera base. So it was out front. The race boats, those 3 things sticking up off the back, those are the 3 of the 5 HD cameras. The tracking, that's the GPS antenna, that little tie plate, and then those lights are the umpiring lights. That's one of the marks, so that's the mark that in the TV you'll see the big circle around it, and you can see that we have to track the marks as well. So on the top of the mark there's a wind sensor, there's a RTK GPS antenna, and then there's the telemetry antenna. And then there's electronics inside the mark. This is the Yelowline operation. It was all mounted in shipping containers. The guy in the upper left is basically managing the navigation system on each of the boats, marks, helicopters, umpire boats. Keeping track of how things are going, with each of those systems on the boats. The upper right, that's the rest of the operating site. You can see it's the same group of people, just older. On the lower left, this is the graphics operator. He's deciding what graphic effects to put on and how to fade them in and out. And he's listening to the intercom for the producer and the director and the commentator. He's trying to figure out what stories they're trying to tell, and he's trying to come up with graphic effects that help them tell the relevant story. And then the guy in the lower right is, it might be a woman, I don't know. But in the lower right, that's the key control. So that's where you're setting the color that corresponds to the water. And the water was really hard, because water changes color based on which way the wind's blowing and where the sun is and the clouds and so forth. But you got to get it right, or else you're going to draw graphics on top of the boat. And so the way we test it, and it's the same way it works in football, is you have a test screen, which is upper image, where you color yellow everything that you would potentially key on. And if you have your color key set right, what you should see is, in the case of sailing, sailboats sailing around in a yellow background, or in the case of football, athletes running around on a yellow background.